Drama between SD Works and the commissaires as Demi Vollering nearly goes through the back window. Sanctions handed out with stress levels high. Hot conditions, everyone had the ice vest on this morning from Onay-le-Château to Albi. Again, a difficult stage, and with Wiebes going home this morning with stomach issues, this was not one for the sprinters. So the question was, how would SD Works, the strongest team in the race, play it, and who would put their hand up to get in the breakaway again, with Castelline showing it could be done, and a strong break went, but Canyon SRAM weren't in it, as well as Phoenix de Koenig. So despite the closest being Claire Steels on 2:44 and SD Works getting in this break with Bredevold themselves, they were marked pretty close by Sarah Tizard and those two other teams, as I mentioned. It didn't really get out of control, this gap, at all, because Phoenix de Koenig want those QOM points. They need Castelline to get those points. But here's the drama of the day. Vollering has a mechanical, 65k's to go. They changed the rear wheel. No real problem with that. Yeah, it takes, because the disc brakes, like a minute. But the race really isn't crazy on yet. They just lost like 15 seconds to the break. So Vollering gets back on. They didn't drop any teammates back at this point. SD Works, Vollering seems pretty chill, but she sees the TV cameras on her. She gets behind the car here. Again, she's like a minute behind the convoy, 30 seconds. This is fine. This happens all the time. She's not in the convoy yet. No harm, no foul. You won't get a penalty for this. She's like 560 meters, as you can see behind the peloton. Here's where the problems start. Now she's back at the back of the convoy, and this is where she needs to get off the bumper and move up the cars herself. You can't just sit on the back of the car, because this can happen. The FDJ or whatever car breaks in front, and the SD Works car, to avoid brake checking Vollering into the back windshield, has to go into the ditch and keeps moving up with her plugged onto the back bumper. So, and you see, look at the co-op rider on the right hand side. She's moving up the convoy like is normal and expected. So with the cameras on, you're a race favourite. The camera's going to be on you when not much is happening, when you've had a mechanical. And she's on the radio too, Vollering. I don't know what she was saying. You can't move her up the whole convoy on the bumper. And the commissaire's going off. Like, they're saying move into the, you see, they're saying move either her into the convoy or you move another way, and she needs to move in front of you. He's trying to get the attention of the driver in the rear view mirror or the side mirror, and eventually she gets braked off and Vollering sprints ahead to the left-hand side. But it's too late. Like, they've spent too long doing that. There was a dangerous situation. The commissaire hits the SD Works car with the Matumbo. No. And then transitions to the finger point. If you get the finger wave straight into the finger point, it's all over. You're going to get a penalty. And you just better hope. And he's even riding on you can see the commissaire's riding on it, saying, you're done. Don't go away from me. You're done. So Vollering, she wouldn't actually know until after the race. And look, Canyon SRAM, they weren't chilling, but like, they didn't change her bike. They didn't drop any teammates back because Madras was still in the group. They didn't drop her back to pace. So why do all that dangerous stuff or take that risk of getting a sanction when otherwise you weren't that stressed about Vollering making it back to the peloton? It makes no sense to me. But yeah, she'd be given to a 20-second penalty. She's lucky it wasn't a minute. But now the race starts to begin in earnest into the base of the first categorized climb of the day, the Côte de Najac, and the brakes basically caught. And Canyon SRAM unveiled their plan for the day, which is going up the road. Costa is dropped though, so that means that Phoenix de Koenig want to keep it together a little bit, despite all the sprinters being dropped and this being a small group, because with 500 meters to go for the points, Castelline with the Maillot Pois behind says, thank you very much, more points for me. She'd go into the QOM jersey at the end of the stage. Hopefully she can take more points tomorrow. Nivea Doma active though. Royce are marking her, and SD Works have only got 3 riders. One of them's Kopecky, who they clearly wanted to win the stage. One of them is Vollering, their GC leader. And one of them is Marlon Roycer, who's doing the work of about 4 riders at the moment in this race. Whilst, Madras and the Movistar domestiques like Norsgaard, Mackay, Bjanic, they're dropped behind as well, and it's mainly Lippert and I think Gutierrez with Annemiek van Vleuten. Bettina was in the breakaway, she might have been dropped. So more points for Castelline. Still cagey, but now Canyon SRAM go again. Roycer marks that, and I think Garcia went up the road, and that's not the last we'll see of Canyon SRAM. Whilst Kopecky's at the back getting bid-ons, they get in another move with Rihanna Marcus, and again, it's poor Marlon Royce having a chase, and Bauernfeind on an uncategorized climb up towards the bonus second gate goes, And I was thinking, surely, I thought SD Worx would try and control this because it's, Vollering's got the better punch and sprint than Van Vleuten, but they don't. Or maybe they couldn't because Bauernfeind goes, Steels gets dropped off her wheel. And it's not just the 6 seconds she's looking for. And it seems to be like Kastelein and Van der Velde, their moves were successful kind of going for those, or at least Van der Velde's, looking like they're going for sprint gates or the QM gates, and Bauernfeind goes for the bonus gate, but just continues on. Beautiful descending lines. And Movistar are looking, Lippert's discussing, should we chase? Actually, we have no reason to chase. And so nobody helps SD Worx, because why would they? Lotte Kopecky's in this group. She's going to beat you at the finish. Movistar's still discussing. Sorry, I think that is Petinho. I besmirched her name. She did not get dropped. But yeah, they're not going to pull. At best, they might attack across, and that is what happens a little bit after the intermediate sprint. But Bauernfeind, she's a serious rider. She came 5th on Covadonga, serious climb in La Vuelta, 3rd on the other GC uphill finish. She had a rough start to this race, but she's a really big talent, and this isn't even her preferred parcours. She's on 109, 115 before Reusser starts to mow into this gap. You don't want to give this woman too much of a gap before the weekend where we go up Aspin-Tourmalet. It's down to 39 seconds, and I'm thinking, if they don't bring it back, surely then Kopecky should do the lead out for Vollering, so Vollering can take some bonus seconds. Still Reusser pacing, and to be honest, 38 seconds is closable, but the motos were kind of out of control actually in Bauernfeind's favour. I mean, that is the benefit to being a plucky attacker. And then on a descent, 5Ks left, do or die moment for SD Worx chase. Reusser gets a gap with Lippert, someone loses the wheel on the descent, about 4th or 3rd wheel, and that's really all over because Reusser doesn't realise she's on her own right now. When she looks around, sees Lippert's with her, who's faster than her in a sprint, she doesn't chase. Lippert, though, she's like, well, I can take the bonus seconds away from Vollering. I can take the win away from Kopecky. She wants to work behind Bauernfeind, gets to 24 seconds, but Reusser says no, she doesn't help Lippert. And with Ricarda Bauernfeind storming through the colour-coordinated Zwift Flamme Rouge, she is not being brought back, winning the biggest race of her career, the 3rd World Tour race for Canyon SRAM this year. And look, no post up. Because she's here for GC. She's not just here for a stage win. And behind, Reusser beats Lippert for 2nd and 3rd, but that's all the bonus seconds gone, and Kopecky sprinted for 4th anyway. So with the 20-second sanction, which you can't see here on the provisional results, for Vollering, not the best day for SD Worx, but Bauernfeind wins the stage ahead of Reusser and Lippert. But here's the revised GC. We've had like 4.5 punchy stages. Kopecky's still leading by 49 seconds ahead of Moolman, but Longoborghini, Niewiadoma and Van Vleuten, they now have a 12-second lead on Vollering after that sanction. Bauernfeind moves into 9th, only about 40 seconds behind those riders. So I can't wait for this weekend. Now Vollering is going to have to be on the attack rather than defending. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you with a recap of Stage 6 tomorrow. Ciao.